Hey guys, it's me, Super Snivy, and today I'm here with a different kind of video. I've actually been playing Pokemon Showdown quite a lot, and I made this team that is pretty trash, but it still works. For some reason, I run a special Crobat, because why not? It's got Life Orb and Giga Drain for ground types. I actually run this on my Poison Monotype team, and Giga Drain's really good on ground types because ground beats Poison, and it's like one of the only things it beats. And then that Heat Wave is so good for Steel types. And then Absol is like my main Pokemon where I run. It's Mega Absol with Justified, but that doesn't matter because I always Mega Evolve it first turn because I'm like that. It has Magic Bounce, which a lot of people seem to not know, but whatever. And then I have this Raichu, Alolan Raichu, with the special Z move, and also ran Electric Terrain because that Surge Surfer ability actually doubles my speed when Electric Terrain is up. It also powers up Thunderbolt. I actually made it specially defensive just because, and then I gave it Calm Mind and Focus Blast because a lot of people like to run, like, Crocodile. And I'm like, okay, I'll use this thing, Focus Blast it, because bam. And then we have Vaporeon, which, this is actually my Vaporeon that I run in X and Y. I actually bred for, like, a perfect Vaporeon. This isn't, like, the IVs aren't the exact same. My other one is just pure special attack. This one's more specially defensive. And it has Scald, Wish, Ice Beam, Protect. I would have ran Hydration, but Rain Dance wouldn't fit in on my team. I only have one water type, and I don't feel like running Thunder and Thunderbolt because the Z move only works with Thunderbolt and not Thunder. So I also had the Scarf Crocodile. I actually got a sweep with it, and you'll be able to see that. It's so good because it's faster than everything, and then Moxie raises its attack after you faint one Pokemon. So you just kill some, get higher attack, and then just keep going up. Let me just, the screen doesn't want to work, so, you can only see like half of my fortress. It's got Leftovers and Sturdy ability, Stealth Rock, Gyro Ball, Explosion, Rapid Spin. Let me actually fix this real quick. Oh, it does have 0 in speed. Oh, I never gave it a nature. Plus defense, minus speed. That's what I want. I can't find it. There it is, relaxed. Because I run Gyro Ball, or Gyro Ball, or whatever you wanna. Just gonna make sure that I have all the right natures. Okay. Well, let's get into the first battle then. Okay. So this was the, what's it called? Crocodile Sweep. So this Golem obviously doesn't know that I have Magic Bounce, and so it uses Stealth Rocks and hits itself with it. And then I saw that I knocked off a normal gem, so that thing was going to use Explosion on me. And then he sent out a Doublade, and so it used Shadow Sneak, which I'm surprised did enough damage to KO me. And here's where the sweep begins. I used Crunch instead of Earthquake because I saw that they had a Chatot, and I thought they might actually swap into it. And then they go for the Swords Dance, but I'm still faster, and I can still take it out with the Crunch. And then the Moxie starts. Okay, this really surprised me. I went for the Crunch, got a crit, and it still lived, and then it ate the Salac Berry, and I'm like, oh no. But my Choice Scarf actually made me faster than it because I have a higher base speed. And I see this Eevee and I'm like, okay, Extreme Evo Boost is pretty obvious. It was for the Protect trying to stall out, but I have 24 power points, so that's not happening. Then there's Chatot, one shot. And if they sent out this Cradily a little bit earlier, like before I had ×3 attack, it definitely could have lived a Crunch and then used Giga Drain. I don't know why they didn't, but that was the Crocodile Sweep. Alright, next episode. Okay. Next battle. That's what it is. Okay. And this one was actually a really good battle. So I start off with the Play Rough, and they actually taunted I don't know why. Probably expecting like a sword stance or something. And then I went for a knockoff, even though they had Justified. I thought that would do enough. And then they sent out the Suicune, and I was so glad because I just knocked off the leftovers. I thought Play Rough would actually do a lot more because Suicune's really just special defense. It has like no physical defense, but it still tanks that really well. And then the Beedrill comes out, and like obviously Mega, who runs regular Beedrill. I'm surprised that it outsped me, even though it has like really fast speed. And then this Terrakion comes out, and they had no idea that I'm actually special on this, and so I go for the Giga Drain, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna use an electric move. But no, they actually went for Hidden Power Ice. And then the Shadow Ball, I barely lived that. I wanted to be faster than it, so I set up Electric Terrain and then used the Z move. It did a lot. I actually didn't... I kind of thought it would kill it, and I didn't know it would run Shadow Ball, but it would have killed me with anything, pretty much. And then the Earthquake, just get my Moxie up, and I'm like, okay, Earthquake can pretty much KO anything else here. Then that thing gets rid of my, Moxie, and then it goes for a knockoff, so there goes my Life Orb. And it's obviously Scarfed. So I go into Vaporeon. I know it won't be able to one-shot me, so I go for the Scald. I'm like, okay, this should do enough. Nope. And I was like, okay, well, I lost my items, so knockoff doesn't do as much, and so I barely lived that. Then the Beedrill comes out, and I went into Fortress because I was kind of expecting Fell Stinger, and I really didn't want to get that boost. And then this was just, I set up Rocks, and that was it, because Fortress really can't do anything else against this team. Just kept Psychicking, so I set up Stealth Rocks to do damage to that Beedrill. And then I'm just like, okay, boom. And I did nothing. I mean, it did like half, but that's not a lot to a Cresselia. And so I went for the Crunch, and I'm like, this should one-shot, but it didn't. But the Ice Beam did nothing to me. And so I get the Moxie boost, and I'm able to take out the rest of his team. Now, I looked at the stats, and Beedrill is actually like only like 50 speed points below a Scarfed Crocodile. It's so fast. It's got like 350. And I didn't even notice it happened. Yeah, the Terrakion had like no health after the Stealth Rocks. The next battle was my favorite. It was like, the next battle is so good. Let's get into it. Okay, here we go. So I start off expecting this thing to use something like Stealth Rocks, because that's what Azelfs do. It didn't. It U-turned and did a lot, but I still lived. And then I was like, okay, I didn't expect that thing to have extreme speed, but it did. And so he swaps into his Florges expecting a water move. And I'm like, okay, I can play mind games too. So I went into my Crobat, and I'm like, oh no, he got the special attack drop, and as you know, I'm special. I thought that they would swap out because I would use a poison move, and they actually went into this Fertile Nerds. I love that name. And I'm like, okay, they're definitely swapping back into Florges. And so I wanted to try to get a burn. I got a crit there, but that really didn't matter. It has so much special defense. So I go into the Fortress, and I want them to swap, thinking that I'm going to go for a Gyro Ball, but I just went for Rapid Spin to get rid of these rocks. And this is like the funniest play right here. Wow, that was some intense action. And then we're like, okay, let's both swap. It lowered my physical attack, which doesn't matter, but I was expecting a fire move, and I didn't want to take that because this isn't my bulky one. This is just pure special attack. And so it goes into this thing again, and I think I get the burn? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, this thing probably has aromatherapy. I wouldn't know yet, though, and so I get a crit on it, but it has Wish anyway, and I know it's going to stay in. And it does go for that aromatherapy, which kind of sucks, but not really. And so it goes into this thing. I thought it would swap into Fortress. And I'm like, okay, well now he knows I have Heat Wave, and he won't ever swap into Fortress. And then it goes for Fire Blast. And then I'm like, what? Because, like, who expects Fire Blast from a Slaking? And then it goes into this thing, and I just get extra rocks up. Just because, why not? So I go into Vaporeon expecting the fire move. No, he actually goes for Wild Charge. And I'm like, oh, great. So I'm like, okay, it went for Extreme Speed, and I'm like, okay, that can definitely take me out. And so I swapped into Crocodile, because I thought he might go for Wild Charge again, but he didn't. And I'm Scarfed, as you know. And so I just went for the Earthquake. And this Fortress, like... So apparently, they must have forgotten that I have Heat Wave, because they didn't switch out here. And boom, dead. Like, that's like the only thing I needed to happen. And I needed that flinch right there, or else it definitely would have taken me out. And now it's on its Truant, and so it can't do anything. I go for the Giga Drain trying to get my health back. That didn't really work. So I go into Vaporeon expecting the, what's it called? Arcanine to come out, but it didn't. So we both went for Wish there, and that was funny. Now, I actually swapped into Fortress to give it all its health back. Now, I was like, okay, you're definitely going for... Oh, I thought it was going to go for a Wild Charge, but it actually went for Roar. So I used Protect, and it went for a Wild Charge, and I'm like, okay, I'll just not swap into Crocodile, because you'll anticipate that. And so, I didn't, and I went for Wish. Wish, Protect, but I did not know this at the time, that Roar goes through Protect, and now my Crocodile's at full health, and he made a big mistake. And that just dies on rocks. And now I know this thing has like no physical defense, so I should be able to one-shot it, but I don't. And Invisible Focus Sash, I have 1 health. It was for the Protect, and I went for Earthquake. I think he's actually going to swap right here. Yeah. And it's a good thing I took that out, because that's actually a really big threat. And then I get my Moxie boost. And, yeah, another Mega Beedrill I'm barely faster than, but I'm still able to take it out because of the Moxie boost. And this thing, I know it's going to go for a Extreme Speed, and I'm like, okay, get predicted. Now, at this point, I was like, okay, this person can definitely take me out, unless I start trying to PowerPoint stall them for Extreme Speed. As you can see, he has 4 Extreme Speeds left, so here's what I do. I'm like, okay, I need this flinch. And I get the flinch, but it doesn't matter because he's gonna outspeed me with Extreme Speed. Now he's down to 3 Extreme Speeds. And I'm like, okay, I can stall one of them out with Protect, and that's down to 2. And then I swap into Crocodile because I know it's not going to be used. And then I go for the Protect, and I'm like really hoping he goes for Extreme Speed, and he did, and I'm like, okay, that's how I know I won the battle. And then that Flare Blitz took me out, but it did a lot of recoil. So then I go to the Raichu. Thunderbolt definitely takes it out with 317 special attack stat. And here I go for the Z move, and it actually used Protect, but Z moves go through Protect. And so I do, like, barely any damage, but I get the Paralyze. And then Thunderbolt, and that takes it out. Oh, that was a really good battle. Like, that was so close. I think actually, no, a Moonblast wouldn't have taken me out, because I do have that special defense. But, I hope you guys like this type of video. I might actually make a video with my Poison-type Mono team. Or my Poison Monotype team. I said that wrong. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next episode.